Thanks and welcome again to a preseason coaches show. This time Todd Flynn, the head football coach of the Wht Grnl Thunderhawks, joins us on Open Spaces Sports, brought to you by Farm Credit of Western Kansas. Coach, what do you look forward to this year?
Well, I think we're an improved team this year, and I think that it should translate to some success this year, and hopefully we'll have a good year.
All right, folks, if you want to know a little bit more about the Thunderhawk football season upcoming and the program, you can go to openspacessports.com. Well, Coach, let's talk a little bit about your team. In eight-man football, I think, and I guess at any level, really, numbers are critical.
Yep.
And how many kids you got coming out and how many kids can stay healthy are all pretty big things. What do your numbers look like this year?
Well, hopefully we'll have 14 to 15. I left last school year thinking about 15, then we dropped down to 12. We've got a couple kids that moved into the district, so 14, 15, and I'm hoping we can stay healthy. Last year we started with 12, and we were down to, I played 5 games last year with 8 guys, so it drops quickly, but yeah. Well, we have decent numbers for once. For the last couple of years we've been in the kind of 8 to 12 range.
Where does your leadership come from?
We've got a good senior class. We've got 4 seniors coming back this year, and really that's why I say we're going to be an improved team. Last year we went 3-6. Year before we didn't win a ball game, but we've got kids, those seniors especially, have played. They've started about every game they've ever played, just with our number situation, and so they've got a lot of experience. They've stepped up this summer in the weight room, and they want to be leaders. They want to do some things for the team this year, and they're going to.
You know, one of the things you did last year, even though you were an 8-man football team, one of your games was a 6-man game. You played the Weston Coyotes. Weston last year played exclusively only a 6-man schedule. What was that like for your kids? And how different was it, or was it that different to prepare for a 6-man game?
Oh, it was definitely different. Last year in the interview, and we talked about that game and being the first televised 6-man game maybe in the state of Kansas. And, I said last year in our interview that I had never seen a 6-man game in my life. And honestly, the first 6-man game I'd seen was that game. I spent about 15 hours on a Saturday and a Sunday preparing for that game as a coach and trying to figure out what we were going to do that week. So for me, on a coaching perspective, it was different. I definitely had to change some things. Our kids had played a lot of 6-man football with 8-man rules in middle school, just with the number situation there, so they were used to it. And it was, a little bit of a transition in terms of some of the rule differences and whatnot.
What are some of those rule differences?
Everybody's eligible. You got 6 guys on the field, but even your center's eligible, so you can go out for a pass. And so that it was a fun game, I think. Seeing a big guy getting down the field a little bit, catching some passes. And one thing that I took from it is basically my formations from that was week 2 of the year last year. My formations from that point on were 6-man formations, and we threw a couple extra guards in there and played 8-man football with 6-man formations. So, spread offense, and that's kind of what we do anyway. So it worked good for us.
As you look ahead, you and I just spoke before we did the interview that now it would appear that several of your schools, including your school, have decided to go into the next cycle and play 6-man football. Talk about that a little bit, and it just appears to be inevitable with the number situation, doesn't it? That's
what it is, and Weston last year I think they had 10 guys out, and so that's they had to play 6-man. They couldn't really do an 8-man schedule. Just a couple injuries, and they were done with 8-man, so they went ahead and did the 6-man thing. Mark Cole's there at Weston, which has moved to Nest City now, but he was a big leader in that 6-man push, and so it's gained traction. I think we just decided to not apply for a district assignment, and so we made the 7th team that is committed to kind of playing that 6-man and a couple hybrid. We'll probably still play a couple 8-man games in there just to fill out a schedule, depending on how many teams do decide to go 6-man.
So you got probably 6 schools in Northwest Kansas that have elected to next cycle go to a 6-man football.
Yep.
It's not a league, however. You'll still be in the WKLL, right?
Yes. It's not CASHA sanctioned. CASHA, I think, wants 24 schools committed to 6-man before they make an entire 6-man division. Basically, we're kind of an independent league is what we're going to be doing. We'll be doing our own thing, kind of like Weston did, if anybody's followed them this last year. We're going to go out and schedule our own games, and as far as I'm aware, CASHA has provided us some leeway to even do some postseason type stuff if we get enough teams and we get some interest. So could be a postseason game or 2 in there with it. So independent league, but I think it's we make the 7th team to go so far. We got another month before we do the district realignments and that meeting, and so maybe we'll pick up another team or 2 and have a full 6-man schedule. We'll see.
The width and the length of the field is the same as 8-man.
Yeah, everything's the same. What changes is you go from, rather than 1st and 10, you have 1st and 15. So you add 5 yards to your chain. And then the scoring's a little bit different. Point after, if you kick it, it's actually 2 points, whereas normally if you kick the PAT, it's 1 point.
Sure.
If you go for it, normally your 2-point conversion, that's only 1 point. Field goals count as 3 points or 4 points. Sorry, so you get an extra point there. And I think that's what we that week last year preparing for that 6-man game when we went out and we got the field goal team going. That's I don't think 8-man football you don't do that, but we got the field goal team working on it, and we ended up kicking I think 8 or 10 extra points attempts on the year, and it's just we had fun with it. And a lot of it was because of that game. So.
Well, it looks like 6-man football is a lot of fun, and you're still an 8-man this year. It's also a wide open game. Good luck to you as you look ahead to this season for Thunderhawk football.
Thank you very much.
All right, Coach Flynn joining us here from Wht Grnl High School, the Thunderhawk football team. Here on OpenSpacesSports.com, brought to you by Farm Credit of Western Kansas. Many of the businesses and individuals throughout the Grinnell and Gold and Grinnell area and Greenville area. Thanks for joining us.